I want to call to order the May 12th, 2020 open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. First order of business is to approve the agenda. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
It's been moved. Can I get a second? Any discussion? Actually, I do have something to discuss quickly, and that is our quick protocol. How does CPC, Julie, can I ask you, how does CPC do these meetings? Do people raise hands, just unmute and start talking? How does it work?
Yeah, there wasn't really a formal, I mean, if there was, maybe I missed it, but I think we should do the raise the hands only if we really find that necessary, but we can kind of see each other's faces. I think mute is a very important thing. We should unmute ourselves when we want to talk. But there's a lot of back noise that can really be a problem. So does everyone see how you can mute yourself on the bottom left of your screen? So you can keep yourself muted, and then you just easily hit that if you want to unmute to share in the meeting. And I know Scott, the Air Public Access does a nice job of kind of managing the other people that join us, things like that. But usually you can kind of see each other's facial expressions, and it goes from there. But we can do raise hands if you'd like.
It's just Nathan had asked me what the protocol is, and so I'm sorry, Jonathan. So I'm willing to go with unmute when you want to talk. You're down to my left, Jonathan. Go ahead.
No, which one of us is Paul Lind?
You're starting to date even me at this point, Jonathan. Thank you. Are you standing up, Jonathan?
I am. I have a standing desk.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so with that, I wanted to also discuss the agenda very quickly. We've had a lot of water go over the dam in the last 72 hours. Mark has been doing a great job working with the different proponents for the different agenda items. And what I was going to ask him to do, I was going to ask if we can approve the agenda. I want to do the bond releases and administrative stuff. And part of the administrative is have Mark catch us all up on what's happening with the different agenda items. Is that okay for folks?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, thank you. So with that, it's been moved and seconded. Is it okay that we've changed the agenda a little bit with you all?
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. So, bond releases. This is something that I want to start doing early in the meeting, mostly because people who come to these meetings for bond releases shouldn't have to sit for 2.5 hours. And that's oftentimes our DPW folk, and they may have somewhere else to go. We have 2 bond releases, one covenant release, excuse me, and 1 bond release. Am I correct, Mark?
Yes, yes, and I could read the letters into the record if you'd like.
Please do.
Okay, these are both for Pingree Hill, the bond reduction. The letter is dated March 30th, 2020, from Superintendent Mark Wetzel. And he writes,
Mark, could you move a microphone closer to yourself? Could you move a mic closer to you?
I don't think I have a mic. I will just try to speak more loudly.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Good.
Okay. Dear board members, at the request of Crabtree Development Corporation, the Ayer DPW has inspected the work on the above referenced project, recommended a bond reduction for each of the phases based on the completed work. Phase 3B was approved for street acceptance at the 2019 Fall Town Meeting. Yet Phase 5 will be on the 2020 Annual Town Meeting warrant. Based on the DPW final inspections of these streets, I recommend bond reductions as follows. For 3B, Superintendent Wetzel is requesting a bond release of $18,635, which would bring the remaining balance to 0. For Phase 5, he's requesting a bond release of $61,815, which would also bring the remaining balance for those 2 phases to 0. So that is the bond reduction. Would you prefer me to read both of these together and make the motion for both the bond and the covenant together, or take them separately?
One at a time, that'd be my suggestion.
Okay, one at a time. So that is the recommendation of Superintendent Wetzel on the bond reduction. So
Okay.
I guess we take a motion to accept that and to forward a positive recommendation to town meeting.
Thank you. Can I get a motion? Any motion, please?
I'll make a motion that the planning board approve a positive recommendation supported by the DPW director for the bond release at I believe it was 2 streets, Mark, at the Pingree Hill development?
Yeah, 2 phases.
2 phases.
2 phases. Okay, rephrase that. I guess the 2 phases as
2
recommended
phases,
by
2
the director of the DPW.
Thank you. Do I have
And
a
second.
Thanks. Moving second. Any discussion on this matter? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you. So a favorable recommendation to the town meeting for that bond release. Thank you. Mark, would you do 14 Washington, please?
Okay, the second is a covenant release recommendation. And I'll read Superintendent Wetzel's letter. Dear board members, at the request of Mr. Duke Pointer, Crabtree Development, the Ayer DPW has inspected the work on the above reference project and recommends a release of the following lots from the covenant agreement. The lots are shown on Ridgeview Heights definitive subdivision plan recorded at Middlesex South Registry of Deeds. The recommended lots to be released as requested below are 73, 76A, and 77B. The total value of the site work related to the lot covenant is estimated to be $2,016,018.99. And the work completed through March 2020 is estimated to be $1,823,463.42. And then there's also a Form J that we will sign and file with the Registry of Deeds once this is approved.
I was actually going to ask how that, how we got that done, but okay. I'm sorry, Mark, I said 14 Washington Street, but it was a covenant release for Pingree Hill. I was reading the wrong piece of paper at the beginning. Can I get a motion, please?
Yes, I make a motion to accept the covenant release for Pingree Hill as described by Mark Archambault in the record with a positive recommendation for town meeting.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Seconded.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this matter?
Yeah, I have some.
Go ahead.
My question was, just a clarification first. I don't think it has to go to town meeting, so the motion might have to be clarified, number 1. And number 2, I think there was a letter of recommendation from DPW Director, Mr. Wetzel. I don't know if you want to read that in, Mark, or not.
Yeah, for the covenant release, I just did read it into the record.
Yeah.
Okay, Meyer, I thought you just read the request for the covenant. I didn't know you read the whole.
Yeah, I read the letter. Lots 73, 76A, and 77B.
Okay.
I
Yes.
didn't finish though before everything started happening there. Condition 4 of the covenant agreement states that the lot shall be released upon the recording of a certificate of performance
Okay.
executed by a majority of said planning board. Attached is the Form J release form for phase 4 lots for approval and execution by the planning board. So we'll make sure that Heather and I will take care of that and make sure that the certificate is filed properly.
Yeah, I guess where I missed it was the Form J was the other document, so I'm all set on that. Thank you.
Right, yep.
And Mark, if that needs a signature, if it's okay with the rest of the board, I'll swing by and sign it as needed.
Yes. Yeah, well,
The things we put up with in this new world. I'm going to try and keep my sense of humor about it. And I appreciate everybody else also. So that's taken care of. Next on our agenda, those are the bond releases. And as I said, I'd like, if it's okay with you all, Mark, you're going to do a lot of talking tonight. Can you just kind of hit the high points on the agenda items going forward? As I said, a lot of work's been done, and I appreciate everything everyone's done on this. Go ahead, please, Mark.
okay, what we had originally on the agenda for tonight after the bond and covenant release was a public hearing for the special permits needed for parking at 14 Washington Street, the historic fire station. I have a letter to read into the record from Kyle Burchard, engineer at the GPR, requesting that we take that up at the next meeting, May 26th, as well as continue the site plan review for that same property on that evening. After that, we were trying to expedite site plan review for the expanded parking at the Cannon Gate condominiums. However, we just received the application package over the weekend, and neither I nor Superintendent Wetzel or anyone else really have had a chance to really thoroughly review that. So in communicating with the applicant's engineer, also GPR, he was agreeable to start that process on May 26th as well. So what I will do now, if it's okay with the board, is I will read Kyle Burchard's letter to the planning board regarding 14 Washington Street into the record.
Please do, Mark.
Okay, dear planning board, due to considerations needing clarifications on parking for the proposed conversion of the existing fire station to residential housing at 14 Washington Street, on behalf of the applicant Calvin Moore, I am requesting a continuance of both the site plan and special permit applications to May 26, 2020, that would have been heard tonight, May 12, 2020. On behalf of the applicant, I am also granting any necessary extensions for planning board action until Monday, June 1st, 2020, to allow decisions to be written and processed. Updates to the site plan and special permit request shall be provided as soon as possible for consideration at the May 26, 2020 hearing to best conform the project to said clarifications, incorporating responses to comments received. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you, Kyle Burchard, GPR. And I just wanted to give an aside that they're looking to modify the parking arrangements somewhat, such that I believe it requires an opinion from town council. So I'm in the process of writing a letter to town council regarding their new plan. And I'm requesting that town council expedite that and get their comments back to us, by the end of next week, so that we're fully ready on May 26th to take these cases up again.
Thank you, Mark.
Can I ask for clarification there?
Yes.
Read that section about the extension, because I don't think we have to grant them any kind of extension based on their request for a date at this point in time. Everything has been extended for a number of days by the government, hasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, I'll read their sentence and then I'll give my comment with the knowledge of what the governor signed for the Municipal Relief Act. On behalf of the applicant, I'm also granting any necessary extensions for planning board action until Monday, June 1st, 2020, to allow decisions to be written and processed. Yeah, I saw that and immediately came to mind that back in early April, I believe, Governor Baker signed the Municipal Relief Act, which gives the board, all boards, 45 days beyond the end of the state of emergency to make decisions on land use cases that would have been action due by that point. So I believe, I'll ask Heather to relook at the calendar, but I believe we have longer than June 1st if needed to act on these cases. However, he put that in the letter without my requesting that he do so. But we may or may not be able to, complete the process on the 26th, but if not, we'll have a better understanding of what the real due date is, based on the close of the state of emergency, which could be May 18th, unless it's extended.
Thank you. And I will just as an aside, Kyle has been, our experience with Kyle is they've worked with us throughout. So even though it does say the date of June when I read it, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't take it as a hard and fast date.
Yep. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. I think Kyle's Kyle's ticking the boxes, which is what a good engineer should be doing. So with that said, so basically Kyle's letter is asking for extension of the 26th and with decisions up by the 1st, and we will see what happens between now and then. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. And then the continued site plan review of, so I think that buttons up that issue on the agenda. Am I
Mr.
correct?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Mark, don't we have to officially read the advertisement that's already been in the newspaper for the special permit and open that hearing and then extend the hearing? We can't just do it without voting to open the hearing, and then we have to then extend it, then vote to extend the hearing, continue the hearing. Excuse me.
Due to the Municipal Relief Act, I was not exactly clear on that because of when this started. When I came in this morning, I didn't have time to go back to see check all the dates, but it couldn't hurt to do that. So I could really read the public hearing notice, and then the board could make a formal motion to continue the hearing.
Right.
This was in the paper.
Please do.
It was published, okay. Planning Board Special Permit, 14 Washington Street. The Town of Ayer Planning Board will hold a public hearing at 6:15 p.m. on Tuesday, May 12, 2020, in the first floor meeting room of Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. Regarding the application of Cowfield Station LLC for property located at 14 Washington Street. The applicant seeking a special permit from the Ayer zoning bylaw section 9.14B and 9.15C5 off-street parking to allow for 2 of the required 9 parking spaces to be located on the adjacent lot, and also from section 9.15C1 design standards to allow for off-street parking closer to the front lot line than the principal building. All related to the conversion of the existing Ayer Central Fire Station into a multifamily dwelling. And then it goes on, applications and plans may be viewed at the town hall, the standard language. So that's the public hearing notice. So if the board would like to open that public hearing and then immediately continue it to May 26th, I think we'd be in the clear.
Would someone like to make a motion to open the hearing, please?
So I so moved. I make a motion, we open the public hearing.
It has been moved to open the public hearing. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Would someone please make a motion to continue the public hearing till May 26th, 2020?
So moved.
Do we have a second, please?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 We crossed our T's, Ken, okay?
One
Good.
more.
I'm sorry.
We have to vote to continue the site plan review also.
Thank you very much. I have a motion from Mr. Diskin to continue the site plan review. Is that a motion?
Seconded.
To the
Moving.
26th.
To the 26th, great. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Fantastic. That's the.
Aye.
Thank you, Nathan. So that ticks off 14 Washington Street public hearing, permit for parking, and the continued site plan review on our agenda. So that brings us to the expanded parking for Canongate condominiums at Sandy Pod Road.
Yes, GPR submitted an application to us over the weekend, which we have not had a chance to thoroughly process yet. Though in speaking with Kyle Burchard today, he certainly understands that he didn't have time to take it up tonight. He is requesting that this be taken up on May 26th as well. And it's my understanding that it's somewhat of an urgent matter and that site work has already been started, perhaps even somewhat completed. And, you know, something that somebody discovered after the fact that, you know, they were constructing. And because they're putting in more than 5 new parking spaces, it falls under site plan review. So as part of that, I sent out a packet to the planning board, where actually I just forwarded his packet of information to the planning board a day or two ago with the plan for the parking and other information. And I will prepare a full staff report on that by the end of next week to send to the board before the 26th.
Thank you. Yes, Ken, do you have anything?
No, I'm just clear. That's good for me, what you just said.
Okay. I know I've spoken with many of you individually about this issue, and I appreciate everyone taking the time to think about it. Mark, I'm going to ask a quick favor, if I may.
Sure.
I don't have a big enough computer screen to actually successfully look at the plans. If it's okay with you, I might send you a quick email and ask you to print out a couple of large copies of just one or two of the plans that they sent. I don't know if you all had a chance to look at them, but Kyle sent us plans that are marked up, and he also sent us the original plans he got from the original engineer.
Right.
And there's a couple in there I would find helpful if they're on a large format piece of paper, so I can make notes and stuff.
Okay.
And this also hasn't had an opportunity to go through DPW's full look at it too. So, and we also need to do a butter notification. Mark, if I may ask, I saw an email. I was going through the emails from Kyle today. And he said that he was unclear on the abutter notification piece. It's in our procedure. It's in our procedures. So I would ask if we can if you haven't already explained it to Kyle, but let Kyle know, because I think he was looking in the bylaw for the abutter notification.
Yes.
And we moved it into procedures a while ago, back in 2018, and I think he just hasn't come across it yet.
Right.
But we do have site plan review as a requirement in our procedures.
Right. Yes,
Right.
We did inform him via email of that later today when it looked like he was confused about the citation.
Thank you.
He may request a waiver of a butter notification, and that's up to the planning board to take up on May 26th.
Yeah.
Because it's a condo association and it's more of an internal matter, so that's something for the board to weigh in on.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. And if I may, I have one comment for what it's worth. It was an abutter who brought this issue to our attention. I think it would be a mistake. And I understand that the abutters are I forget how many units there are there. I think it's 75 or 90 or something like that. I've forgotten how many are in Canongate, and they're going to actually let themselves know that they're doing the work. But there are other residents on that area of Sandy Pond Road, and I think it's important. Personally, I think it's important that they get notified. I don't want to walk down that road where this started. They have stopped. They have worked with us. It's an unfortunate situation we're in, but I don't want to. I really feel strongly myself that leaving the other butters out at this point may bring more wrath than it's worth.
Yeah, I'll make a couple of comments. There's no possible way we're going to waive if you may as well let them know that there's no way I'm going to vote to waive an abutter notification when we just put these procedures in place in the last 12 months. We already went through it with the fire station. We required them to do it. They had already done it for another board. So
yeah,
I don't know where he's coming from with that, but that's not going to happen.
All right.
But I have two other things on that project. Jeff asked me to take a little closer look to things a couple of weeks ago. And I did talk to Joanne at Conservation, and we may probably all know that they were issued a RDA, what they call Request for Determination of Applicability, some fancy language. Anyway, this was a couple of years ago, and they were given a determination that there was a negative report, so they did not have to do anything special, and they complied with that requirement for Conservation, and Conservation has done an inspection, Joanne, and found it to be well taken care of, and a very clean site. All the silt fences in place. The other comment that came up was the requirement for a curb cut permits, two of them actually, because they have two entrances, one on either two streets. And I talked to Mark Wetzel about that. They now have that in place, and he's happy with the curb cut work and the quality of the work that's been done on the site. So for all intents and purposes, the work that's been completed, although shy of having our stamp of approval, has complied with good practices in the field, and there's been no disturbance. But there's no question that there is a potential on the parking lot changes that will affect the butters, because some of that paving may be closer to their lot lines and things like that. So they certainly are entitled to their chance to comment.
Yeah, and and as I took a quick look at it today, still trying to expand it, it looks like they've actually abandoned some of the newly requested parking also. So I think it just needs us to take the time to look at it closely, so we're all on the same page.
Yep, got it.
Thanks. Any other comments or questions about the Canongate project? Please, if you get a moment, drive through before our next meeting. It'll be helpful. Thank you. Does that close down this agenda item? I believe it does.
Yes.
Okay, great. Wow, it's going much faster than we thought, Mark. I thought we had a big night tonight. But here we go. Public hearing for the zoning bylaw recodification.
Okay, what this is about is the assistant town manager and town manager have hired a firm to recodify all of the regulatory documents in the town, both the zoning bylaw, other bylaws, regulations, all sorts of things, and put it into one comprehensive document with very consistent formatting. So this is anticipated to be a agenda item, or I should say a warrant article at the June 15th town meeting. And as a formality, the planning board needs to hold a public hearing on this recodification and make a positive recommendation, if so willing, to the June 15th town meeting. I will read the notice, and basically, when I looked through the document online, basically all they did for the zoning bylaw was they added a few new subsections just to clarify where it was a little bit long, but they didn't add any new text. And they also put a prefix in front of each section number that we're familiar with. So when you look at the purpose of zoning, that's Article 1.1. Right now it reads 320, 1.1, 320 being the code for the zoning bylaw and the recodification. So it's really a formality, but if anyone has reviewed this, you know, I gave it a fairly quick review looking through the entire document. I didn't see anything myself that was out of place, but now would be the time for other people. If you see something in the recodified bylaw that is not consistent with what we're working with, we should make a note of that so that we can get corrections to the assistant town manager. So if it's okay with the chairman and the board, I will read the public notice for this. Okay. Public hearing notice for recodification of the Ayer zoning bylaw. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 5, the Ayer Planning Board will hold a public hearing at 6:15 p.m. on Tuesday, May 12th, 2020 at the Ayer Town Hall for renumbering and revision of the Ayer zoning bylaw of the town from its original numbering as amended through October 28, 2019 to the numbering or codification, arrangement, sequence, and captions, and the comprehensive revisions to the text of the zoning bylaw as set forth in the final draft of the bylaws and regulations of the town of Ayer, Massachusetts. Said codification of the zoning bylaw having been done under the direction of the planning board and being a compilation and comprehensive revision of the present zoning bylaw, including amendments thereto. All zoning bylaws as amended heretofore and for shall be repealed. Don't worry about that language, just saying this cleaner copy is going to be the official one. Except that such repeal shall not affect any suit or proceeding pending as the result of an existing law. The zoning bylaw shall be codified as Chapter 320 of the bylaws and regulations of the town of Ayer, Massachusetts. Copies available for viewing at the town website, and it's also available at the office of the town clerk. So again, it's really a formality to bring the bylaw into a consistent format with all the other bylaws and regulations of the town that range from fees for licenses to the DPW stormwater requirements. All sorts of regulations are being put into this one document. And so this would be the public hearing and a chance for anyone to state if they found anything that was in error or needs clarification.
Any discussion from any of the board members regarding this?
Do we have to vote to open the hearing?
Yes.
Mhm. I'll take a motion.
I'll make a
A
motion.
motion. Go ahead, Ken, you do
Go
it.
ahead,
You go ahead.
No, Jonathan.
All right. I make a motion that we open up the public hearing for the zoning bylaw recodification.
Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I interrupt you for a moment?
Yes, I'm sorry. Please do.
It's not directly to you, but to Air Public Access and to Cindy at the town hall. I've sent them a message and I would hope they've seen it. I don't want to distract our meeting and I'd like us to continue, but I needed to say that publicly. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So I enter into this zoning bylaw recodification with a great deal of excitement and some trepidation. I've been with the board a couple of years, and this board has worked very, very hard to get through our bylaws and do new bylaws, and we've done a lot of work, and I really appreciate it. And I hope that we don't take any backward steps on this. If it's what you describe, Mark, as a pretty much a superset numbering system that gets put on top of it, I think that's great. We've worked hard and started using appendices and things like that to make our bylaw less cumbersome to work with as times change. And I hope this recodification doesn't change that also. Those are kind of my 64,000 foot comments. Anybody else have any comments on this?
I'm on the same page as you, Jeff, but I'm making a big presumption here that following the lead of the town manager and the assistant town manager and all other departments, I guess they're going to have to do the same thing, Mark. Is that right? They're all going to be recodified, basically.
Everybody has been asked, anybody who has anything that's in the codes or bylaws has been asked to look at this. And I believe, and I'll let Mr. Manoyan speak for himself, but my understanding is because he copied a few of us that he caught a few things in the form-based code section that needed to be clarified for this. But the form-based code section was added on top of the superstructure that we already have for the zoning bylaw. So that could be the reason for that.
But the long and short of it is that all the changes that we've made in the last few years that went to town meeting and amendments and odds and ends that, we asked you to give us, updated copies and whatnot. And there was some slowdown on that once in a while.
Right.
There's no misunderstanding that all of that is in this document is what I'm getting at.
Yes.
You and Al, well, depending on you and Alan now and people who, we didn't see it to basically have a chance other than the last few days to, we're not going to go through it page after page, but depending on the professionals that have done that.
And what they also did that was very good is after any article or any section that changed at one of the town meetings in the past few years, they put a reference as to what town meeting it was and what article.
That's great.
What article it was.
Okay, good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so I'll just give you for instance, for accessory apartments, we added that in 2018. So after the definition for accessory apartments, there was a parenthesis that says added October 22nd, 2018, special town meeting by Article 2. So anybody who wants to look at how the bylaw changed over time will have an easier job of doing that.
Good.
Thank you, Mark. Any other discussion on this issue? Kind of a leap of faith, isn't it, guys? We are in a new world continuously. Mark, what action do we need to take right now?
I believe the planning board should make a positive recommendation on the recodification of the Ayer zoning bylaw as part of the entire recodification of all town bylaws for the June 15th annual town meeting.
If I may ask a question, when would the selectmen, when does this need to be done? Do we have to do it this evening? Can it be done on the 26th?
The assistant town manager has asked us to get any comments by this Friday.
Okay. Thank you. This is the one that's on, I'm sorry, Mark, was it page 135 of our bylaw that you,
135 of the new document.
of the new document, exactly. Yeah, I started looking through it. I'll be honest with you, I didn't get very far, but I didn't see anything in the beginning that necessarily upsets me. So it is a leap of faith, guys. Any further discussion?
I'm good with it.
Nathan, Jonathan, Julie,
No.
would you like to make a motion? Would someone please make a motion?
Let the motion master do it, Jonathan.
Nathan,
make
you
a
gotta come up
motion
to speed here. Come on.
I make a motion that the planning board make a positive recommendation for accepting the recodification of the zoning bylaws as presented to us.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Mr. King.
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Or abstentions? None. Hearing none. Thank you. Appreciate it. And once again, Mark and Alan have been doing a lot of work over the years. It's nice to see us as a town coming together so that our bylaws and regulations are easier to work with. Do we need to close this public hearing?
Yes, this.
Hold on.
The one.
Yes, I'm sorry.
We have a member of the public present, so we should,
I don't see anybody.
I do.
That might be me, Alan Minoyan.
No, we have,
No.
I have the judge on the line too.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
wow,
Judge.
sorry.
Yes.
We have another hearing coming up, which I believe
I'm in favor of the recodification. I have not read it, but I'm going to take the same leap of faith that the planning board is doing. And thank you all very much for letting me be as part of the member of the public tonight.
Always good to see you, Bobby. Not just driving by with a mask on. It's good to see you.
Put my mask on.
Okay, thank you. You know what? I appreciate it, Ken. I'm looking at Bob Gardner here, and I'm thinking he's not a member of the public. I see him more often than I see some of you guys.
He's my neighbor. I can see his house.
Exactly.
Actually, not to try to pull rank on you, but I was a member of the planning board about 48 years ago. I was just thinking about
There you
that.
go.
You know, you're welcome to join us again, sir.
Well, you've got a full complement of very capable people.
Oh, well, I'm sure we can make room. But anyway, thank you very much. Okay, accept a motion to close the hearing, please.
I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing on the recodification of the Ayer zoning bylaws in accordance with the recommendation from the assistant town manager.
Thank you. Do I have
I
a
second it.
Thank you. Moved
Yep.
and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Cool. Next on our list is the public hearing for the zoning bylaw change, the T6 transit parking.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll read the public hearing notice and then I will direct you to the section of the form-based code and the bylaw where the map appears of the transect so that we can get our bearing as to where this applies. Okay, so pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 5, the Air Planning Board will hold a public hearing at 6:15 p.m. on Tuesday, May 12, 2020 at the Air Town Hall to consider an amendment to the air zoning bylaw that proposes to reduce the off-street parking space requirement for the T6 transect, which is the downtown transit-oriented lifestyle district, in the downtown Park Street Form-Based Code District for all residential uses from those presently listed in section 9.12A2 to one space per dwelling unit, regardless of the number of bedrooms. This amendment is for the T6 transect zone only. All other parking requirements found in section 9.12A of the air zoning bylaw will remain unchanged. And I would direct the planning board to page 126 of the most recent bylaw package that I was able to hand out before town hall closed.
Mhm.
And in the back is the form-based code section, of course, and there's a map on page 126, which shows a regulating plan with the 3 transects of the downtown form-based code district. The T6 transect is the most intensive urban, you might say, part of that, which has it allows buildings to go up to 4 stories, I believe, and Alan here can correct me on that. And it might be good, so you're not just hearing from me this evening, for Alan, if you direct questions to Alan as to the thought process of reducing the parking standards for part of the form-based code district, and how that might encourage downtown revitalization and economic development.
Okay. Would you like me to jump in, Mark?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and through you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, what we are, of course, proposing here is really just the next incremental step forward in what we have been planning and designing in Ayer for over 40 years. We are trying to create a sustainable development pattern. So yes, we look at the T6 zone in the form-based code district, and the T6 is a zone that literally surrounds the commuter rail station, and really is the most multimodal of any point in our entire town. So along with what we've done with the form-based code, consistent with what we have done with our master plan, our open space and recreation plan, our downtown plans, all of this, we would like to encourage new development, residential development, again, to get the development pressure off of our outlying neighborhoods and lands, to channel that new residential development around the commuter rail station. And by dropping, this to 1 parking space per dwelling unit, it's really going to, frankly, make prospective development deals, which might, be a little marginal. It's enough to make them viable and work with accommodating enough vehicles there. And I would really just put it this way. What we're doing is carrying through with we are asserting the livability of people in the downtown rather than the storage of vehicles. We need to incrementally, and I think that's the key word here, to start making downtown a place with the limited land, very precious limited land we have, to accommodate more people living there, human bodies, which, by the way, is what will spur the economics of the downtown once again, and make it less of a place, what we call the parking crater. Yeah. And the key to this, if new prospective developers start coming forward saying, very good, I will put a building there and doing this, it's going to be part of their tenancy plan. The people that are going to be attracted and that are going to want to live in downtown Ayer around the commuter rail station are going to be the type of people who, frankly, don't want to have a lot of cars in their life. That's why they're there. That's
Alan?
who's buying this product. Yes.
My question for you is, anticipate, this is going to come up for town meeting, correct? That's why we're having this public hearing.
Correct.
So I anticipate that there may be questions about this, because I think a lot of people base their assumptions on parking on models that were common 10, 20, 30 years ago. So my question to you is, are you prepared, if the issue arises at town meeting, to make a defense of the reduction to 1 per unit, citing any kind of contemporary statistics on where housing is going, particularly housing demands and parking demands near a transit hub of the kind that's exactly at the core of T6?
Yes, thank you very much, Jonathan. And through you, Mr. Chairman, I think, Jonathan, it will be important, you're right, to show some good comparable case examples, whether it's downtown Reading, Massachusetts, others. And you're right, really backing this up with data, with hard data and breakouts. I'll say this, though, about this particular location in our town of Ayer. Right there, you know, you have access,
Actually,
you know,
Alan?
to the community.
Excuse me, Alan.
Yes.
I can't pull up page 126, but I'm going to, I can't do a screen share, never mind. The host is, I was going to share the actual Google map of what we're talking about.
Yes.
Because I
yes,
find it to
thank
be
you.
extraordinary. Yeah, is it possible
It
to
is.
share a screen?
Yes.
Cindy, are you there?
Hmm.
Maybe not.
We all know this,
Yeah.
what he's talking about.
Yeah,
basically.
it just, when you take a
Yeah,
look
we
at
know
it.
it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I agree
Thanks.
with you, Jeff. When you visually look down on it, it
Yeah.
really it makes sense. And I'll just say this quickly, and I'm sorry, I'll cut to the chase here. Right there, then at that point, you have immediate access to commuter rail. We have immediate access to the Devon's regional shuttle bus now that goes right to the rail station, this quarter connecting with our hospital, with Devon's, with Fitchburg, Leominster. So you have public transportation bus shuttle. You have public transportation commuter rail. This is the point where our bike trail, the National River Rail Trail, this is the anchor. And of course, we're going forward with our bike lanes in the downtown with our complete streets. It's also the most walkable place in our town because of the mixed uses and compactness and its mixed use. So this is the one place, if we're going to incrementally test this as a community and say, this is the place to start, because there are so many transportation options there. You can make a life of it with having one car in your household or family. And that's who's going to, frankly, if I had a building there, this is who I would be, frankly, selling it to, marketing
Right, that's how you have to market to, right.
That's
This is how you have to market to. And if someone walks and says, well, I would love to live here. Now, you know, we have 2 or 3 cars. That person say, well, no, this is not the right fit for you.
Not
then
right
in your
one for you.
lifestyle.
Right.
And this is how this is all going to work. But this is the place, guys, where we start the transformation to a 21st century, multimodal, sustainable New England township.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Alan.
Yes.
I don't hear anybody arguing with you, Alan.
Sorry. Yes. No, and of course, we've worked on this together, all of us, for over 3 years.
Yeah, right.
Right?
So for anyone watching, if they're replaying the video and they're wondering why we're not talking about it, because we have discussed this at previous meetings, and so it's not as if we're giving this short shrift. We're just acknowledging our past discussions.
I really see it as the whole fabric coming together. You know, we have the new commuter parking deck is completed. Depot Square Park now is being designed and built out. It's really wonderful. These are all the pillars, the components that together, you know, are going to, again, incrementally, and that's the way it should be done, step by step, start, you know, our transformation, our town properly.
Yeah. As an aside, I don't know if anyone's noticed it, but the amount of parking at the rail trailhead is very high these days. People are really taking advantage of the rail trail, and I'm still concerned that there's not enough spaces outside the parking garage for the cyclists, but there's a lot of folks there. It's actually wonderful to see. It's gotten to the point where I wear a mask all the time when I'm riding now.
You have
Just
to.
wow. It's too much of a hassle to put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. So anyway, any further discussion on the bylaw change to the T6 transit parking? And so Alan, basically what it's doing is it's reducing it to one
Julia's
space per
question.
unit. I'm sorry. Yes. Julie?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Gardner? Mr. Gardner, yeah.
Oh, Judge Gardner. Yep.
Yeah, I've got a couple of comments. I don't know if it's time for public comments or not. I don't want to step on the toes of any planning board members if they want to also comment on it.
Why don't you go ahead?
All right,
Bob.
thank you. First of all, let me just say I got the utmost respect for the planning board. I got the utmost respect for the town planner, Mr. Shambo, and also for Mr. Manoyan. I've had a lot of discussions with him about this whole situation. I won't take too much of your time. I like the idea and the concept, particularly the word incremental change, because sometimes Rome is never built in a day or a week or a month or a year. But the only thing I would say, and just so you know, my son and I have contracted with David Berry to buy that little white building next to the Santander Bank. So, I do have a vested interest in this. Unfortunately, most of the parcels in the T6 area, they're very tiny. And to make it financially feasible, particularly with all the new requirements for building construction, things of that nature, you really probably need to have some shared parking, other sites or whatever. And I mean, I would respectfully ask you to consider dropping it down from 1.5 to 0.5, notwithstanding the number of bedrooms. And the other thing that's a concern is that if it's going to be a shared parking, you have to have an in perpetuity deed, I call it. So in other words, an easement where you park forever. It's just one little step short of owning the property, that you're going to share the parking with. So that just does make it a little bit difficult for anybody that's attempting to develop it. But, I would say this, in all candor, maybe that's something you could all take care of with a special permit that's dealing just specifically with one piece of property. I know the special permit definition is different from the variance definition, hardship, financial, or otherwise affecting just that parcel and not the zoning district as a whole, whatever, it doesn't derogate from the district. So that might be the way to do, what ultimately, I'll be in to see you on. I think we're scheduled tentatively for June 9th, which is the second Tuesday in the month. Is that correct, Mr. Ashambo? I think it's
Yes,
June
it is.
Yeah.
June 9th is the second Tuesday, Judge.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'll have a lot more to say about it that night. And I understand when Alan, Ms. Minoyan says incremental change, that, you're all maybe a little concerned about making a broad sweeping change that might seem too drastic, from 1.5 to 0.5 and eliminating the eliminating the in perpetuity deed of easement. So with that, I'm done speaking, and I'll answer any questions if you have any. And I understand where you're all coming from, and I'm not being critical of whatever your vote is, and I understand it, and I appreciate the time to be here. I appreciate all the time that Mr. Minoyan and Mr. Ashambo has given me throughout the last several months. It's been very, very helpful beyond the call of duty.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No, thank you, Bob, for those comments. Any further comments from the board?
I got a comment.
Yeah. Okay.
Jonathan, go
You want to
ahead.
go first? Okay.
Yeah,
I
please.
just want to make a general observation. Judge, we recognize that you had tentatively approached the board previously with it wasn't even a stage of the proposal, a concept. You
Right.
came to us. And I just want to make the general comment that I would encourage you or anyone else who's thinking of a proposal to really hew as closely as possible to the regulations that currently exist and not put a great deal of dependence on variances and special permits. I'd say bring it as close as possible to what we got on the record, and we can build for there. But I would not encourage anyone to build their plans on a foundation that depends on special permits or variances.
Right. Well, first of all, it wouldn't be a variance, it'd be a special permit. And, I appreciate what you're saying, but it just really is not financially feasible to build something, buy the property, pay for the property, and then raise the building, and then to put it up and have to put, one, assuming the zoning goes through, one parking spot per unit, notwithstanding the number of bedrooms, because it's not just the area for the parking, for the actual physical cars, it's the area driving in, it's got to be 12 feet wide if it's in and out, or it's 20 feet wide if you're just driving in. And, a lot of those parcels on Park Street aren't really that wide. The frontage is not that wide, particularly 3-5 Park Street. So I'm not trying to put pressure on anybody, but, it's just, the reality is such that, and to have shared parking, if you're going to have shared parking, you have to get a deed of easement in perpetuity, runs with the land forever. I mean, people would rather probably sell the land and be done with it than just to, give you an easement of forever for the parking. So that's what makes it kind of difficult. And that's why I would respectfully say to you, sir, and to everybody else on the board, we'll be back June 9th, from our concept with the special permit application. It's already been filed. And, I would hope that you'd consider, some leeway, some variance, and I don't mean a legal variance, but just some leeway from the bylaw, because, candidly, sometimes these bylaws are such that it's going to make it very difficult in the true world to go out and to try to, make use of these properties. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for your comments, Judge. I really,
You guys, you all can call me Bobby. You don't have to
I know. We go back and forth between Bobby, Mr. Gardner, and Judge.
I'm just an air guy, so.
Yep. Thank you. Other further comments from the board? Ken, you had something on your mind?
Yeah, just for the record, I want to clarify so that everyone, I'm sure everyone in this room knows, but that the public knows that the change that we're talking about here does not affect a studio apartment, which currently is assigned one space. It does affect the one bedroom or unit, which formerly required 1.5 spaces. And it affects mostly, of course, units that have 2 or more bedrooms, which formerly required 2 spaces. So the change is actually occurring on the 2-bedroom side and the 1-bedroom side, and nothing is happening on the smaller studio apartment size.
Correct.
Or dwelling size, I should say.
Thank you. Further comments from the board on this? Mark, what action do we need to take?
Well, if the board is satisfied with the way the amendment is proposed, the board should make a motion to place this on the town meeting warrant with a positive recommendation.
Thank you. And may I ask, I told you guys I didn't want anything on the, I'm going to have to step back from, let's not bring anything to the town meeting, this year.
You were overruled by Alan and Mark.
Alan, Alan, you haven't heard me say this. The town's been very generous with their time over the years, and I was trying to get us through one year without. But no, I actually think that this is a good direction to go in. I think it does offer somewhat of an olive branch to the people who are looking at that area to develop. I believe we as a board have an open mind towards what's going on down there. I think we recognize the unique nature of the Park Street corridor, if I can call it that. And I would, that will end my comments there and ask for a motion.
I got one more
Yes,
thing to
please
add.
do.
I want to remind everybody, just in a general way, that this section of off-street parking requirements at 9.12 does not address anything in there as far as accessible parking is concerned. So any requirement that we have here for the number of parking spaces is not inclusive, I don't believe, of the accessory requirements that might come under other codes, under the mass, ADA requirements and whatnot. And I think that gets a little cloudy when you're looking at proposals, because an applicant needs to provide for both the bedroom requirement and I think any kind of accessible parking. And on top of that, we have another tiny requirement that says, every particular multifamily dwelling unit has to have visitor parking and a minimum of 1 space. So it's lacks a little bit of clarity as far as the accessible parking is required and so forth under other codes. So I'm saying that this code is not going to be a universal statement, that there are other codes that could apply to a project as well on a parking requirement.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, absolutely. And Alan and I were discussing earlier that I'm sure all of you know by reading the staff report that I had prepared for 14 Washington Street, that the way that the parking section of the bylaw is written now is very confusing. There's a lot of sections that They're all over the place. Some things require special permits, some things just require a waiver, or we'd like eventually, it's going to take a lot of work, but I would like to simplify the entire parking structure in the bylaw. I think it's too confusing right now. But that's what we inherited, so we have to work with what we have right now.
Agreed. But you know, we're going, well, we have what we have right now. I actually would, personally, I'm going to support the change as we're talking about the T6 Transect parking. And I think we're going to, I mean, I personally would take the approach that each one of the projects coming forward to us needs to be looked at individually in this small section of our zoning. I think if we take the time and put the energy and effort into codifying every single solution, we may end up with what we had in a bylaw a few years ago, where engineers would stand in the room and say, are we going with chapter 3? Are we going with chapter 6? And so we've got a lot of, we've been moving in the right direction. I also have a feeling, having been an essential employee and having to be out in the world for the last 7 weeks, a lot of people are beginning to discover the automobile isn't the answer. It may take a while, but we'll see how that goes too. With that said, any further comments from the board? Thank you. I would take them. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to underscore what Jonathan said. You know, I think the public would benefit from some data, Alan, as much as a narrative. And I'll give you my input on that, which is echoes what the chair said. You know, the bike trail, the growth, and potentially, as you just said, Jeff, more growth in commuter, which would be a benefit to our town. You know, we're making an attractive development there at Depot Square, and the interest in our town to revitalize the downtown, you know, the businesses, restaurants there. You know, it doesn't have to be data from Reading. There is, I think, data and ideas, goals that we have here in Ayer that would say that the spaces we are providing for the public, or that the town provides on the streets and the parking garage, it is going to be important to our goals for the town. And so I think we need to strike a balance. I think the one parking spot is a good balance for as wide. You know, the Transect 6 is pretty large, so I think we can't accommodate every situation, but I think it's directionally correct.
Very good. Thank you, Nathan. Yes, and you're right. I need to make sure that I don't have the you know, the narrative, but some numeric parameters, you know, as the foundation of this case. So yes, we will make sure we provide numeric parameters of the whole dynamic of the parking in the downtown.
If I may, and Bob Gardner, I may put you on the spot. A couple months back, we had a meeting and we were there, and you had been counting the amount of cars using the parking garage. Have you been doing that lately?
Nobody.
Well, I did do it before the COVID-19 really hit, and there were, and I did it informally. I'd drive through the parking garage at different times of the day, and you know, usually there was probably, I'd say like 90, 95, maybe some less, some more. My understanding is now there's virtually nobody parking there because, of course, people are staying at home.
Yep.
But I would say this, that myself, I mean, I've actually started using, you know, Amazon.com to order things, Peapod, things of that nature. And, you know, I'm finding out fast that I really don't need my car as much as I thought I did in the past. And, you know, we're finding that people, you know, really need to have people be moved, not by cars, but by trains and shuttle buses and bicycles and things of that nature. I was watching on TV the other night, and I saw Spike Lee riding his bicycle along New York streets, and somebody else on one of those news shows. So, you know, a lot of people are foregoing cars, and, you know, I guess we're finding out from the coronavirus, one reality is such that we don't really need the cars like we all thought we did. And, that would be my thought on the situation.
Mr.
But,
Chairman,
yeah.
can I ask Bobby a question? Since he looks like he wants to get rid of his cars, why don't you put a for sale sign on that Z5? And I'll come right down with a check. Since you know you're not going to need it anymore, I'd say it's time to make a deal. Let's do it.
There you go.
I'm not sure if that's out of order or not, Mr. Diskin.
You say less than convertible, so I'm going to have to pass on that. I'm sorry.
Okay, order. Call you back to order. Thank you. Any further discussion? You're
Yes.
planning. Go ahead, Julie, please.
Now we know the judge won't be moving to T6 himself.
I'm glad you're neighbors across the pond.
I'm waving. I'm waving.
Okay, great. Thank you
Or
all.
if they want.
Any further comments of any sort? Bobby, welcome to the party, Bobby. We're going to shoot at you today. No, but thank you.
Wasn't it fun?
Yep. I think the board would entertain a motion to favorably support the change to the T6 transit parking. Would someone please make a motion?
I make a motion that we accept and give a positive recommendation for a zoning bylaw change regarding T-Sec Transect parking, reducing it from the requirement from 1.5 to 1 per unit as described in the bylaw change itself. Positive recommendation at town meeting.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mark, you're back on the spot with town planner announcements.
Okay, one thing that the conservation administrator wanted me to bring up with the board is that she has been working with the owner of Compassionate Care in Central Avenue. Apparently he has expanded his, I guess, the employee parking area there beyond 5 spaces, which is the threshold that requires site plan review. And so she has asked me to look into it and with the board support to write a letter to the owner requesting that he get in touch with the board to indicate his plans as to whether he will come in for site plan.
Thank you. Mark, if you may, you broke up when you said the name of the business.
Yeah.
Oh, Compassionate Care.
Thank you.
Oh, it's Cassie. Okay.
Yep,
Right.
thank you.
Right.
Okay.
They have expanded their parking there and they have not sought a site plan review through us. So I believe the Conservation Commission is working with him to try to rectify some of the wetland issues regarding that.
Okay.
I need to go over there and look at it myself, take a few photographs on the road and write a letter to him with the board support requesting that he submit a site plan for that expanded parking.
Thank you. I'm going to assume, I don't know, I've been watching it, not realizing what's been going on, but I believe you're talking about the property to the west of Compassionate Care along the tracks?
I believe so, yes.
Because the rest of the area in front of his building has been paved. So that was originally paved. So yes, please, if you can take a look at that. And I can't believe anybody on the board wouldn't support a letter to him to go through site plan review if it's required. Anybody have a dissenting or a different opinion?
There's no question he needs to do it.
Yep. He also probably needs to talk to DPW about a driveway opening. Yes, Jonathan.
I would just say this is not the first issue that's arisen regarding potential abuse of the area in question, that little parking area abutted to the rail. And I hope that the letter is strongly worded that we're not just requesting, but he is obligated to present to the board.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a quick comment that Mr. Ashambo painted a very flowery picture by using the word that Joanne is discussing the matter with the owner, but in fact, there's two enforcement orders that are in place by the conservation and by DEP on the site right now.
Right.
Yeah.
DEP is really involved with the site at this point in time because of wetlands issues.
Yeah.
So there is more going on there, exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I wanted to bring up for board discussion is the next meeting on May 26th. We'll have a full agenda. We'll have 14 Washington Street coming back for both the site plan and parking special permits. We'll have the opening of the site plan for Air Solar 2B, which I believe we can limit to the opening and some initial questions. And also we have Cannon Gate coming in. So we have a relatively full agenda. So we need to think in terms of how to expedite the meeting so that, you know, it doesn't go for, 3 hours or something. Which is well beyond what APAC would like to support, I think, in terms of us all being here. So if we can think of either time limits per case or, some of the cases might be more involved than others, but some way to try to manage the time and manage planning board questions with the applicant so that we can be more efficient in using the Zoom meeting.
I think that's, we got lucky tonight because things kind of got pushed because, in some ways, but, and Mark, I am not taking shots at anybody here, but, we're in a situation where Kyle didn't get us the information before the weekend. I'm not going to besmirch Kyle for that. He had a lot to do. Kyle had to come up to speed and get a lot done for Cannon Gate, and he's done yeoman's duty on it. Ken helped out with this also, but the sooner we can get information, the better. Even if it's in draft form, even if it's just high points. 64,000 foot view helps us to start thinking about it, look at the applicable zoning bylaws and stuff like that. And I think that will help us be efficient in our meetings too. And then we'll limit Ken Diskin to only 10 questions per item, okay?
Okay.
That's something that
You just try.
Yeah. I got two things I need to bring up on a, I'm going to call it site plan review. Okay. But I want to make
guys, go out of here.
Based on the comment that DPR, that Kyle made to you on site plan review, that he was not aware of the fact of the abutter notification. I'm going to speak as an outsider for a moment and say, might be a potential time to notify GPR of the requirements of site plan review again for any future projects that are coming up at the next meeting, number one. And number two, I guess have to find out a way to be taken off the Zoom meeting. So I might have to check with IT on how to do that because I'll be in conflict when that issue comes up at the next meeting. So if you could help me get the information on that. What I have to, maybe I just click myself off, and then get called. Somebody calls me and says, go back on, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Ayer Solar
what
2.
I have to do. Let me know what I have
We
to
could
do.
put you in the waiting room.
Oh, Cindy is still here.
Oh, I'm
Did you hear
here.
that?
Oh, I'm here.
So Ken, what Cindy said is we can put you in the waiting room.
Okay, put me somewhere, right, exactly.
And thank you.
Zoom method of recusing yourself, I guess.
Okay, that's
Fantastic.
what I need to know.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, and I, in general, I was thinking about that to see Kyle's email saying he was not sure of what the abutter notification was. And Mark, I don't have any way of checking on this, but what I would ask is, when an applicant comes to the town, they need to not only get the bylaw, but they need to get our regulations, what they need to do. And kind of shame on us. So maybe we can think about reaching out to the engineers we typically, no, Ken, in all honesty, I saw that email and I said, shame on me, because it didn't even occur to me to let the proponent know that this was a requirement. And as you said on the phone the other day, it's a requirement. So We need to be a little better. We need to be a little better about our public service side. And yes, we work with the same engineers over and over again, but things change, and they have busy lives also. But thank you regarding that. Other announcements, Mark?
That's all I have for now.
Okay. In administrative announcements, we've got some old business and new business, and we have meeting minutes left on our agenda. Anybody have any old business they would like to discuss?
I got one item that's really quick.
Go ahead.
An outfit came to us, Desham and Dillis, and they came in and made a small concept presentation for Fitchburg Road for a lot of multifamily units and whatnot with a plan. And I don't know if they're still around. Has anyone heard anything about that? That was the one on the Flag property.
Right. There's a new owner, is my understanding, and he's looking around. He's asked us for some guidance, and so we're just in the beginning stages. Alan and I are interfacing with him. It's somebody by the last name of Shaw, no relation to the prior one, actually, interestingly enough. But yeah, that sort of fell through with the previous owner, so there will be a new application eventually.
What was the name of the other gentleman's name was Doug Shaw was the applicant.
Correct, and the new owner is, I forget his first name, but his last name is also Shaw. So,
okay.
Who's on first? Who's on first? Thank you. This isn't really new business. I've got a couple things that we wanted to talk about going on. Candidate happened, and then it was noticed that there was a driveway opening on 91 Sandy Pond Road last week. Over the weekend, the guy built a new driveway. Many of our residents don't understand that they need to do things when they do work on their property. So I'd ask you, if you're driving around town, if you see some construction you don't recognize, raise a hand, let Mark know. We're not trying to catch people. We don't punish people, but they don't always go through the dig safe process. And people are at home and they're doing an awful lot of work. And it's better that they go through the proper process of identifying where underground utilities are and stuff like that before they damage something. So if you see something, please feel free to give Mark Archambault a call or call the office. That's it, or drop me a line or something and I'll follow up with it. Again, we're not doing it to punish anybody, and we don't have very high fees for stuff, but if they're doing something and they may trigger a stormwater or some other regulation, and if they get too far along, it becomes a real problem for the person also. With that said, next on our agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes for February 11th and February 25th. I would ask if you all had a chance to look at those, in all honesty. I truly enjoyed looking through them. It's a long time ago. And if you don't feel comfortable approving the minutes now, I think I would be okay with pushing it to the next meeting, and maybe we can get another copy out, because they were in previous meeting packages, not in the most recent one that I can figure out. Thoughts?
That was so long ago, Jeff. I can't recall if I sent edits or comments to Heather or not. I'd have to actually both go through my notes and go through my Ayer email account to see if I sent edits to her. I just don't remember now.
Okay, I did. I do happen to have mine. I actually reprinted a copy for one of them. Let me do this then. I'm going to ask that we table the minutes from the 11th and the 25th. Shame on us a little bit, but I think it's understandable given what's been going on in everyone's lives. Mark, would you please, or I'll send an email to Heather. I'll ask her to send the copies out to folks, okay, as soon as possible, so that we get, because I do have draft copies. I'm not sure I have the latest ones. And again, I don't know, Jonathan, if you've done the edits or not. I do recall.
I did submit edits. I noticed on my computer I did create edits. I just need to confirm that I actually sent them to Heather. I probably did, but that's not a guarantee. I just want to be sure, Mark, that whatever Heather forwards to us for our review reflects whatever has been sent to her from our comments.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
So I may ask you, Jonathan, just to belt and suspenders, send her the comments again, okay? If you don't mind. With that being said, turn the page on the agenda. Adjourn. Anything else from people? Jonathan? You raised your hand. Did you want a motion?
I was saying goodbye. I thought you were ending. I was like, oh, goodbye.
I want to thank you all for doing this, and look forward to seeing you all again in 2 weeks. Mark, thank you very much. A great job tonight.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I'm glad.